You made it. Can you hear me? Okay. I'm on. Your camera is working. Okay.
Okay, can you hear me?
I can indeed. How are you, Joe?
I'm doing good. We're the only two here.
So far, yeah.
Okay. Well,
13
you said
minutes.
you're going to open the room at 7, but the meeting doesn't start till 7:30.
Correct. Jim Long was here right away and trying to get in on his mobile phone, but we could never get his microphone to work, and he left. He's with his wife at the base hospital, and she's having respiratory issues, and they're testing her for COVID right now. So he may or may not be able to join us.
Well, have you got your vaccine?
I have not. Mama Claus got hers last week, I guess, or 2 weeks ago. But no, I'm only 62, so I'm not even on the access list yet.
Yeah, but people are getting it anyway. They're saying you got to be a certain age, but you know, I've seen well, some people are doing it kind of cheatingly. An old person goes and they go in a wheelchair and they have a young person push them in the wheelchair, and while the young person is there, they'll vaccinate the younger person. So
have you had yours?
I got my first one.
Well, let me know when you need me to push your chair in there for the second one. I will cheat to save my life. No, we are so isolated here. We literally only leave the property maybe twice a week. Mama Claus, less than that, as little as we can persuade her not to go out. But now that she's inoculated, I'm less worried about her. Has Cindy had hers also?
No, and she won't get one.
Huh.
That's her religious belief.
I see. Okay. God bless us, everyone. I hope the virus understands that. Well, God made the virus, so if it's his will, I guess.
So let me see if I've got your agenda here somewhere. From Rick Irwin, board meeting documents.
Elf One, can you hear me now? You're muted. You must have heard me.
Unmute yourself. Go to the upper right corner and unmute yourself.
Oh, Elf One is the genius.
I'm unmuted now.
There he is. Hey.
I came from another meeting, so it was a little crazy.
What is that creature on your shirt? Is that a dragon or a fish?
Some kind of fish.
I see. Okay.
A crazy shirt.
You know, we have Santa Ed Howie up here does the what's that festival I forget over there at Dana Point? He does the Dana Point, some kind of ocean festival. Every year he's King Midas. No, not Midas.
King Neptune. King Neptune.
Neptune, that's who it is.
Neptune, yeah.
That's King Neptune, that's right.
Gate or something.
He would probably hunt that creature on your shirt.
Preferably the one that's in the water, not my shirt.
Well, in a foggy morning, you know.
Yes, sir.
How are you, John? How's things going, man?
Every day is an experience. I'm upright, not horizontal, you know.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
How's your health?
I'm good. I had COVID right after the reunion last year. I left the hotel on Sunday night, went home, said Monday I'm just toast because I've been going for 4 days. Tuesday I got up and said I'm going back to bed. It was Friday before I woke up. I don't remember anything that happened that week.
Wow. So did you test positive?
I was never tested because back then it was like, oh, it's just a virus going around.
Right. Yeah, that's true. It was late February before even the World Health.
Back in a second.
That's right. They didn't even have a test yet.
He's got a selection of green palms.
Oh, this is my costume. My wife knitted the other one.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you're green Santa every year, everywhere?
I'm not green Santa. I'm an elf.
Oh,
My coat is green. My pants are red.
I forget.
If I can find the back, there it is. There we go. It is green though.
That's nice fur.
It's real. It's rabbit.
When you have to part it like hair like that, that's when you know you get the good stuff.
Yeah.
You know,
I got costumes that hair gets out of my face that's pulling it out of the way.
is that your Chewbacca or your?
No, I have two of these hats, and I have my coat is green, my pants are red. It's what you saw at the reunion, but it was rebuilt after the reunion. Gather. You gonna make it there, Joe?
Yeah, I'll make it.
Okay.
Oh.
And it's all this all comes off, and I can wash it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's all on it. My costume and on all the trim is on snaps, and you just take them off and wash the velvet.
Have you washed that hat?
Not yet.
Okay.
Now I haven't worn it very much.
Okay. All right. Yeah, the first time I treated my costume from Adele's, well, the first couple of times I paid the cleaners to do it, and then one time I needed to freshen it up in mid-season, so I tried one of those dry L's on the hat, and I didn't get the heat low enough in the dryer, so the fur went from that long fluffy look to the woolly look. So I had to replace this is my newest Adele's hat here.
Yeah. I don't have to look as pristine as you gentlemen.
What is your typical season look like? What are your gigs?
Me? Nothing. I haven't had any yet. I was going to support Kathy at the treehouse,
yes,
and she never called me back.
Son of a gun.
And for me, I'm kind of different than anybody else. I do it all pro bono. I am not expecting to be paid.
Wow.
If somebody wants to pay me, I'll ask them to write a check to the Shriners.
Okay.
I've been clowning probably as long as Joe's been Santa, and I've been paid once.
Oh, nice, man. Well, when we all get to glory, Elf John, you're going to be a lot closer to the throne than me. Holler up to Joe, who's going to be right near the stage, and tell him to mention me to Jesus.
Well, Joe, you got it all. You got the red chair and everything. That's cool.
Yeah, that's my electric lounger chair.
I thought it was a
I'm
throne.
not sitting in it right now, but that's what I sit in when I'm watching television.
Ah.
Don't let him fool you. He's a hardcore gamer. I follow him on Xbox.
Yeah.
Not me. I play on Vegas World. I play blackjack and I play Hold'em, Texas
Do you
Hold'em.
really?
Oh yeah.
Son of a gun. I guess I never got good enough at poker to.
Well,
Granddaddy got me early and said, "Son, don't ever gamble with something you're not ready to donate."
Well, that's it.
I play Vegas World. you're playing with their fake coins.
I
There's
see.
no money involved at all. It's
I
free.
see. Well, that's cool. That's fun too, right?
Yeah.
I guess it's like when we play Jeopardy or Wheel of Fortune on the Xbox. David does it a lot. I mean, she's got a posse on the Xbox, man. Maybe 100 people on her friends list. I've got maybe 7.
Yeah, my wife got carried away, so I told her, throw me a hat together. So this
Look
one
at
is
this.
considerably longer.
I love it.
Yeah,
When she started making that, it was going to be a sock.
yeah, that's true.
But the episode of Falcon Crest was a lot more interesting than she thought. And she just blew right past it.
Yep.
One of my daughters got one of those, was it knitting or crocheting? I guess it was a crochet machine that they bought. And you just, once you got it started, you just crank the handle and it would just turn out a continuous tube. I blew through a whole skein of yarn one time just to see, what would happen. And it just produced a tube that was
Well,
about 4.5,
I told her, 2-inch stripes. Let's see, this one's about 4.
right? I don't know how to change colors. It was all gray.
Well, that's all right too. Yeah.
Oh,
You're not going to get a quorum at the rate you're going.
Well, man.
finance overview. This one.
I know Diva is waiting to sign on. That will be 4. We will need 2 beyond that. And if we don't get a quorum, then I'm not going to waste your guys' time, but I will run through a couple of the presentation videos that I was going to share with the entire board. I would like to, one of them in particular is targeted to the membership scattered across the country. Somebody join Diva. I knew she would be here. Okay, and she's connecting her audio. There she is. Look at all that hair. Like
I wish.
Bet the lioness. You're still muted, baby. You're muted, baby.
I can just partly hear.
You're hearing her through my doorway on my microphone. She's in.
Maybe so.
She will unmute in a second. There's
Hello, Elf John.
Hello, dear.
Okay, let me
Oh, who's the old geezer on the screen now?
Which one?
pick a number.
I think it was the chairman of the board.
Yeah.
The buck stops somewhere.
Youngest one.
I know that she only hangs out with me because of my splendid cabin. Even when
Right.
it's snowing, and get a nice fire going in the fireplace.
You must be in Texas right now. That's all they're doing.
This is Miami Beach, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, could you imagine though, living in that chill and the snow and everything else and not having any power?
Oh yeah, and in Texas, what little heat you have in your home for as infrequently as you need to add heat to your home in Dallas, that little bit of heater that you have in your house is guaranteed to be electric. And there's a lot of people are in trouble right now. I mean, my heart goes up right
My
now.
cousin lives outside of Dallas. They've had electricity 2 hours on and 8 hours off. Fortunately, they have a fireplace.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, they at least have light with that. And
Although I bet firewood is probably at a premium to get right now, though.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
hey, Santa Joe.
And speaking of fire and premium, the fireplaces are going to boom in popularity after this. The realtors are going to push, add a fireplace. Contractors are going to push, add a fireplace to your house, save your family's life. I still can't. Oh, no wonder I'm looking at voicemail. Sorry. Recents. There we go.
Bye, Diva.
Oops. Hold on. Ah, James. Aw. Oh, I was trying to do something and it messed up. I was trying to see who's on the screen.
Hey, it's after 7:30.
Santa Joe.
Yes.
Rick, you muted yourself. Rick,
Rick.
unmute. Unmute.
Oh, he's
Now we
gonna
got
go on the
Diva in
phone?
2 places. And she's quiet.
Oh, that was an accident. Sorry.
And you're
Am
on
I-
2 places?
Am I showing on 2 places? Oh, I am. Okay, let me get myself out of this other one.
Oh.
Okay.
No, why don't you go back to 2 places? Then we might have a quorum.
Yeah, we'll have a quorum.
Hey, Rick, you're muted.
He's talking on a phone, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. So when
I
he's sitting
muted
there
because
talking,
I was.
he's not looking at us.
I muted because I was, but then forgot to unmute after I got Bob sorted out.
This meeting will go a lot faster if you mute.
No joke.
Yeah, have you saw that little news story that was on Yahoo about that college professor that did a 2-hour lecture and didn't realize he was muted the whole time?
Oh God.
And they had his reaction when he found out he was muted. You know, he went, oh. Cindy's right beside me. She says, "Hi, Diva."
Hi. How are you?
Oh, doing good.
Yeah. You wouldn't lie to me, would you?
You wake up with a tail. Don't lie to the witch. You'll wake up with a tail. Oh, look at that lunar landscape behind her was Hemet about an hour ago. She lost her temper.
Wow.
That was not. It
That's-
was Hemet, but it was about a month ago. And it's a sunrise, not a sunset.
Oh, it's not a block fire.
At home, that's a background.
Okay.
I took that picture out here in the morning, one morning.
With her iPhone, which has a really good camera on it.
It looks very nice.
Oh, by the way,
Thank you.
I have a green screen behind me, and I'm using the messy office background.
Yeah.
I saw that on Smarter Image, but I couldn't afford it.
I'm having a board meeting?
Yes,
Oh, okay.
we may
Well,
be
we're
having a
supposed to
board
be.
meeting, but we need more people.
Oh,
Where's my brother?
Mary Ann.
I don't know, baby.
Oh.
I'll send him
the
a-
other board.
I'll send him a text and see if he's coming.
What else do you need?
Well,
Are you going to make the meeting tonight? Question mark. Check your inbox for the link and passcode. I guess I should send it to his personal address just to make sure. What's his address, honey? Santa Big Tom with 2 G's at Yahoo or
I
Gmail?
think. I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
Hang on.
Yeah, he said he totally spaced it. Be right there. Giddings Tom, that's what I'll use. Or is that your dad?
No,
Okay.
my dad was Sugar and Spice.
Okay. I thought that was your mom.
That was them together.
Okay. That's true love. To share an email inbox. Oh my God. That is modern love.
You have like 10 to stay away from me, don't you?
Yeah. If you had to monitor 11 inboxes, paste. I don't even try to cover them all every day though. In fact, some of them I don't even hit every week. Like webmaster at Santa's of the OC might get an email a year. So
What did you do before you became Santa, Rick?
well, I'm a professional entertainer for most of my life. Beginning when I was 17 years old, I was either a model, an actor, a singer, something like that. I have also been in construction. I've been in sales. You know, acting is like 95% unemployment.
Yeah.
So my fallback occupations were always construction and sales. And then recently, and in the last 10 years or so, because of the opioid epidemic, I moved into substance abuse counseling and did that for about 5 years.
That's a big jump out of construction.
Well, saving lives, man. Just like when we, petitioned the CDC this year to get early access to the vaccine for our Santas, I started catching flack for that right away from all over the Santa world. But I didn't give a crap, It's like I told Wall Street Journal, we save one life. I'll dance with the devil in the pale moonlight and give you a half an hour to draw a crowd and sign the video rights if it saves one Santa.
Yeah.
Tell with them. Big Tom signing on, and I just spoke with Bob. He's trying to get in.
I texted Jim Long.
Jim Long is at the base hospital with his wife. He
Ooh.
tried to get on about an hour ago. Right after I opened the room, he tried to get on in his car, and we tried for about 15 minutes. We could never get his audio to work, so he left.
Okay.
But there are 10 directors and officers on the board, and only 5 of them are here right now. So that's, oh well. After the year we've had, I'm not going to bitch.
Yeah.
I think we weathered this year fairly well. And virtual saved Christmas. And there is Big Tom. You're muted. There you go. All right, now you're in. Now you're in.
All right. Sorry about that.
Just need one more. I'm going to let you guys break up into small groups and chat amongst yourselves while I get a hold of Bob one more time.
Trying to figure this all out. Give me 1 second. I gotta get a chair. Is that gonna work? Yeah.
Are you there, brother?
I am.
How are you?
Good. How you doing?
I'm well, thank you.
All right. You see me?
Yeah.
Not right at the moment. I have pictures up right at the moment. Hold on.
I'm just trying to figure this all out.
You're fine. You got a picture and you got volume.
Okay. Perfect.
Oh. Probably backwards on my end, isn't it? Is it backwards?
No, it's just Diva.
Oh, I love it.
I don't recognize you without some kind of hat on.
Oh, me?
Hey, you.
Well, also because I now have blondish
Locks.
hair,
Lots and lots.
Okay,
of
good.
lots.
Then you should be with
Lots
us
of hair.
momentarily then.
blonde hair. Something I
Yeah,
don't
now
normally have.
click the link and make sure you copy the passcode first. I disabled the waiting room and you don't have to pre-register. So Zoom requires one of 3 security options to be activated. So I had to put the passcode in the invitation.
I get, you know, when I
It's
hit
the only
link,
challenge you should face to get
Yeah.
in. What about you? What were you shaking your head, Joe?
when I hit the link, it just brings me in. I don't have to put in passcode.
Yeah,
I didn't have
same
to
with
put
me.
anything.
Oh, I muted everybody. Okay, so, okay. They're saying that if you use there you go, you're here anyway.
He's here.
They're saying that
He's still
if you
muted.
get the invitation link, you don't have, it automatically inserts the passcode.
There you are.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Sure.
good to know. Keep it as simple as possible for you guys.
Bob, turn your mic on.
Me?
Bob is muted. There he is.
There you go.
Okay, he's live.
Hey, Santa Bob.
Hi, all.
Bob?
Hola.
Hi, John.
Oh, Bob.
Okay, guys, let's just plow through this, and I won't take up too much of you guys' evening. Madam Secretary, please
Yes.
note the attendees and report the presence or absence of a quorum. A quorum for this board of directors is 6.
We got 6.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have exactly 6 people.
Thank you very much. Okay, I'm calling this meeting to order. It is being recorded, of course. I'm calling this meeting to order at 7:43. The secretary has reported a quorum, and the chair will proceed to the regular order of business. I will begin to share my screen, so you guys won't have to put the agenda up on yours. And I will just share this whole screen. So it should be easier to read. Okay. Secretary has attended the roll call. The minutes were distributed previously with the invitation. Has anybody reviewed it and have a suggestion for revision? Not hearing any, I would entertain a motion to accept the minutes.
Also move.
Second,
Second.
it's been moved and seconded that we accept the minutes as distributed by the secretary from our last quarterly board meeting, which, by the way, was the second quarter of 2020. We did not have third or fourth quarter board meetings, but given the existing circumstances, I don't think anyone would look askance at our organization. I think we've done very well. Moving on, number 4 on the agenda, financial oversight. I will bring up, hang on, I have it. And here, there we go. There we go.
Oh, excuse me.
All right. Not accidentally. I discovered as I was distributing the documents for this board meeting for the first time, I realized that I have been including in our financial accounting, the Forbes financial accounting, some chapter assets, SOTOC chapter assets, and it absolutely was a legitimate mistake. It harkens back to the 2013 reunion. Right after the schism, we were trying to get the luncheon off the ground in a hurry, and we just opened up a bank account and a PayPal account to handle transactions. And for the following years, we just operated out of that account. Eventually, we began to open other designated accounts for the reunion and things like that. And all along, I've just been updating the financial reports. So this is the first financial report that I have revised to not include the chapter assets. The total revision was about $1,200, I believe. So our assets, as you can see, are still around $14,000, including a $5,000 standing deposit to Knott's Berry Farm in reserve for the 2022 reunion, which we have yet to begin to negotiate. But Bob is going to continue to lead the way on the negotiations. Is that true, Bob?
That's true.
Thank you very much. He has a long-standing relationship with Carol and
Debbie,
who?
Debbie Farmer.
Debbie Farmer.
So he will continue to negotiate with them. And of course, we'll keep the board informed as the arrangements as planned for the reunion begin to take place. Okay, so anyway, those are the assets. That is the financial statement. I will entertain a motion to accept the financial overview.
I so move.
So moved. Is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded. All in favor of accepting the financial statement as submitted, say aye.
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 Say nay.
Aye.
Of course,
Aye.
none. Thank you very much. Okay, moving on. Old business. We have, according to our bylaws, all fiduciary officers and directors are required to annually renew their conflict agreement. If you have not submitted a conflict agreement before because you're new to the board, that's fine. And even if you have, it's time to renew it anyway. So since you guys are attending the meeting, you will be the first ones, or anybody who read the agenda, I guess, or the knows then that there is access to the form site to complete the conflict agreement, and it'll only take you a couple of minutes. So please do that before the next meeting at your convenience.
You want to,
Say it again.
Rick, do you need a email or something identifying that we have read it? How do you-
No, sir, what you will do is follow that link in the minutes right there, and I will also send out a supplemental email since a number of our directors and officers aren't here. To just follow that link and it will open the form site page, and you will just read through it and affirm, click the affirmations as you go through. It will record your URL address. That'll be the only digital signature that we need. Okay. 2021 reunion appreciation gifts. I was going to introduce an open discussion to suggest some kind of remuneration or gratitude gift that we can show to or present to our keynote speakers from the reunion. Santa Joe is with us right now, so I'm going to exclude and automatically deny his request for the Escalade. But we will move on to Santa Mitch Allen and Santa Ed Taylor. And of course, Diva Claus was the planning and event manager. She was the only help I had because of Bob's indisposition and the fact that, we were doing all of this in a hurry and on the budget on a shoestring. So I would like to propose that we send a gift certificate in the amount of $50 to Ed Taylor, Mitch Allen, and Joe McGreevy. And I will entertain discussion. I will not accept any gift myself, obviously, because I'm on the event committee, but, and looks like Diva wouldn't accept it either. So anyway, I would like to entertain discussion regarding presentation of a $50 gratuity to our 3 keynote speakers this year.
Well, I'm in full agreement that something should be done. I'm not sure it shouldn't be $100, but
Yeah,
I'm game for the $50 if that's what people agree on.
Well, Diva will tell you that it's not tipping that I believe in.
It's over tipping.
So I'm never going to challenge anybody for increasing the gratuity. I was starting with the low ball simply in recognition of the fact that like everybody else in the country, Forbes is in a financial situation that it can obviously weather. We're not in as much dire strait as many organizations and companies are, but we have declared a dues amnesty that will put a $5,000 to $7,000 dent in our treasury before renewal season opens again. So the reason I lowballed with the $50 was simply to recognize that our resources are not as unlimited as they sometimes are. Bob.
Okay, actually, thinking about it, I kind of rescind my my suggestion. we really have had a policy that we don't present presenters at our reunion remuneration, because a lot of professionals have volunteered their time to do that.
We did compensate our keynote speakers occasionally. This isn't a workshop or seminar presenter
Okay.
situation. These are our 3 keynote speakers.
As keynote speakers, I agree. Yeah, rather than as presenters, but as keynote speakers.
Okay.
That's good.
And your point is well taken, and I would concur as well. We don't want to open, we don't want to set a future precedent for
Right.
remuneration for our volunteer workshop presenters. If and when we do get somebody in with some significant expertise like the Brothers Clause or something like that, then obviously we would probably consider some form of remuneration. But just our members volunteering their expertise and experience does not justify expenditure from the Treasury. Okay.
So was it voted on?
No, I was entertaining a motion.
Oh,
No,
sorry.
okay, motion from the chair. I move that we present a $50 gratuity to each of the 3 keynote speakers who were present at, or who presented at the reunion this year. Joe, without your vote, we won't have a quorum, so please swallow your pride and vote for yourself. All in favor, say aye.
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 Any
Aye.
opposed, say nay. There are none. Thank you very much.
Freaking on the job.
If you ever want to kill 5 minutes, I'll tell you what the formula is.
Okay, can I ask you a question?
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
How do you plan on presenting that?
How do you want it?
Well,
I could
I was going to
transfer.
say we do a thing with the Magic Club, and when we have to give a gift card or something like that, we just send them a Amazon gift card, because you can go right on Amazon. It sends it to their email, and they have it.
Yes.
And I can't
Yeah.
think of anybody that doesn't use Amazon.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. So without amending the motion, I will take under advisement your suggestion that we disperse those funds using Amazon gift cards. And I will make it so, number 1.
But as keynote speakers, not as presenters.
Yes,
Yes.
that's correct. Stipulated, so stipulated. Okay, Ad hoc Insurance Committee. Bob, you have spoken to Carter Campbell. You have received the reimbursement for our deposit for our liability insurance policy. You have reviewed our current state of liability insurance, group liability insurance, and have reported to me that you are satisfied with the current state of our liability insurance. You have pursued and investigated the potential need or usage for directors and officers insurance or errors and omissions insurance, which are common insurance coverages for large 501s. You have reported to me that you do not believe at this point we have current need of either of those additional coverages. And based on your explanation, I concur. And I'm reporting this now to the board on behalf of the Ad hoc Insurance Committee. And was there any other thing about our insurance, either membership or directors and officers, that you wanted to report?
No, nothing that I can report. Just to keep everybody abreast, we purchased liability insurance for the whole organization, and that's fine. For our membership to purchase their own liability insurance, we have to put up $1,000 for option 1, and then another $1,000 for option 2 of the liability insurance. And once they have received more than $1,000 on each one, then they return that. So this is an annual basis every October, why I send them a couple of $1,000s, and after the season, they send it back to me.
And this
Um,
was the first season where there was any question whether
Right,
we
so
would
just-
receive that back. But-
Just to make sure, they want to make sure they're gonna have that much business if they go to all the work to set it on up.
But when you checked with them, they reported that we had cleared that hurdle several times over. Is that correct?
Right, right. Yeah, I was concerned about that this year, but we did.
So even in the hardest year ever, our activity, membership activity on the liability insurance policy was very active. I was surprised, to be honest with you. I got mine, and only because we did 2 in person. Actually, we only did 1. The second one was canceled due to the second. Yeah. So I bought the insurance policy for 1 drive-by for the Laguna Niguel Parks and Recreation Department. Okay, thank you very much, Bob. Since there is no change in our coverage or recommendation from the insurance committee, there's no vote required on that portion of the report. Moving on to new business. We have not had an issue of the newsletter since the special edition came out and at the end of the summer. Again, I hold myself and the editorial staff blameless, circumstances being such that this is just one more asterisk and an endless number of lists such as ours, and we're just going to have to pick it up again with our spring edition. So that will be February, March, and April. So I'm going to have to start working with the editorial committee toot sweet if we're going to put out an edition before the middle of that trimester. So I have maybe 4 weeks to put a newsletter edition together. I would also like to ask the board to authorize the payment of $50, what did we call them? Oh, North Pulitzer prizes, that's right, for Tim Conahan, Ed Taylor, and Rick Rosenthal. I would offer Joe McGreevy another $50 bonus, but I don't want to embarrass him in front of everybody. Bob, Joe, would you accept another stipend if we were to, because you were one of the 4 leading luminaries in the Santa world who guided us through that audition. I would be more than happy to include you with the other 3 gentlemen. Would you accept a stipend if it was so authorized by the board?
If it's authorized by the board, sure.
Okay. Having explained that and interacted with Joe specifically regarding that, I open the floor to discussion regarding the payment of a $50 gratuity to Tim Conahan, Ed Taylor, Rick Rosenthal, and Joe McGreevy for their contributions to the special edition, which, by the way, received PR on 2 continents, 6 countries, and I saw it quoted in print and video media a dozen times. Between that and the survey that we did with the membership regarding their plans to work during the season, those 2 references were used maybe 50 times by the professional media, the international media. So our newsletter got a lot of coverage and got a lot of distribution. And I'm really proud of that edition, and I'm proud of the editorial staff working on it. And I'd really like to show my appreciation to the titans of the Santa industry who jumped in on a week's notice, well, 2 weeks notice in some cases, and put together a contribution for each one of us. So would you guys like to discuss the payment of and the authorization of another $200 in gratuities to the gentleman mentioned?
I totally concur. It was a wonderful addition. And it was wonderful for those icons in the Santa world to participate. And I think $50 is just wonderful.
Good, thank you. And following
Agreed.
following Joe's example in previous, I would ask you to swallow your pride and meet the quorum with us. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, say nay. Thank you once again. Following Joe's suggestion, we will disperse those funds also using Amazon gift cards. Joe will just send you one instead of two. Okay, one more. This is when the rubber starts to hit the road here. We are going to need to put together an elections committee this year. I want to get serious about putting together and recruiting some new blood and getting some new faces on the board, and if possible, expanding the board, but we'll talk about that a little bit more later on. But I want to get our best and our brightest willing to at least help advise and guide the elections committee once we start getting volunteers to populate that. We're going to need some leaders, directors and officers to reach out and personally encourage some members to, stand up and, and serve. This is a voluntary organization, and we need to make service look appealing and to the best of our ability possible. And that brings me, I will just extend this invitation. I won't expect any reaction from you guys. If any of you guys want to help organize the elections committee, pre-organize the elections committee, give me some ideas about what the bylaws revisions we might suggest, things like that. We've got about 3 months to give this some thought. So before our next quarterly meeting, I would like to have some of you guys help me come up with some suggestions so that we can hold an orderly and official election this year. I'll just leave it at that. Unless anybody would like to comment on that item right now, I will move on. Number C. This is the real reason why I was hoping that we could have a meeting in person instead of continuing with the digital meetings that we've been having, attending the board business using electronic means. I am really glad that we included that option in the bylaws. It has proved exceptionally resilient during the last year in helping us meet our obligations and duties as officers. And I'm glad that we had that flexibility built into the bylaws. But moving forward, I would like for us to have more face-to-face meetings like this. So in addition to the quarterly meetings, I would like to encourage you guys to help drive and stimulate the suggestion I'm going to come up with for the virtual meetings in just a second. This, in fact, we're there. So I'm going to, while I'm still sharing my screen, I would like to share with you guys a presentation that I am preparing, or I am hoping to reveal to our membership in general in the next week or so. And I want you guys to see the presentation first, and then we can discuss your impressions. So that's that, and open. I'll start that over. Of course, when anybody in the meeting, let me know, the membership direct button, space bar pause.
Rick,
You're
breaking
cutting
up.
in and out. You're cutting in and out. Hold on.
You can't speak over the recording.
Okay, my idea is this. You guys were all at the reunion. You know that 2020 was the virtual year. Christmas 2020 was the virtual Christmas, the year of the virtual Santa visit. And Ed Taylor, Rick Rosenthal, Mitch Allen, they all agree that virtual is going to be a significant percentage of the Santa season for all professional Santas moving forward, or at least for the next year. It may trail off after that, we don't know. But we believe that virtual is going to grow and grow rapidly. Each of those three organizations are pivoting to, well, Ed Taylor's always been a virtual training host. The Santa Claus Conservatory has always been online based, but Rick Rosenthal runs in-person training academies. For him to pivot his entire slow-moving barge to a virtual empire means that he significantly believes in the significance of virtual moving forward. And Mitch Allen has also concurred that he thinks that the bulk of his business may very well be virtual Santa's visits going forward. I think that with this evolution going on right before our very eyes in the Santa industry, I think Forbes is uniquely positioned to take advantage of this change in the course of the river and to capitalize on it, to guide it, and to help our widespread membership to capitalize on it. And there are several aspects that we're going to have to address moving forward, some evolutions that we're going to have to come up with, but I think simultaneously we're going to need to reach out to all of the members and get them active, interacting with us online. In the beginning, my idea is to just use a shotgun approach for meetings to make them available in as wide a variety of time slots as possible. And over time, see how the attendance and availability and access for each one of these time slots evolves. Over time, we can evolve the schedule, the broadcast schedule as well. But that's the one thing, that's item the first, getting these virtual meetings going and growing and establishing a regular attendance to these meetings. The second item the second, is to begin discussing some way of incorporating this online chapter, if you will, in our directors and officers structure. According to our bylaws, any geo-proximate grouping of 5 Santas can start a chapter. And if they grow to 10 members, they can become a directing chapter. We have loosened the descriptors for our chapters to include whole states in the case of Arizona, and the Silver State Santas, they cover all of Nevada. So I think that we should preserve the statewide designation, our recognition of the state borders, if you will, as we begin to sort and group these online attendees who are attracted to and participate in the virtual meetings moving forward. We have, as I've mentioned, we have members in 39 states now, and in Texas and Florida and Pennsylvania and New York and Ohio, we have a dozen or more. In a couple of those states, we have 20 members, and or maybe 20 members. And if 5 of them in a state decide that they'd like to form a cyber chapter, I want us to be prepared. We need to start talking about how we can recognize that, how we can incorporate it into the director structure, how we can sanction it in the bylaws. But once again, it's going to require a minor modification of our bylaws, so we need to start thinking about that as well. So that will be the second thing that we're going to need to work on in the remainder of the first quarter of this year. So hopefully by April, mid-April, we will have a regular schedule of virtual meetings, and we will begin attracting a lot more members to participate. I'm going to pause right there and open the floor for discussion, questions, comments, anything. Jim, thank you for joining us. How's your wife? I paused. Time out up. How's your wife?
She's fine. She's home. She's got antibiotics. She's had an infection for about 3 weeks. It never cleared.
Okay.
They said no COVID, but no flu as well. So
Okay.
that's the good part.
Yay.
These are the times when you don't take that for granted. So thank you. Okay. So again, open the floor to comments or criticisms or anything. What do you guys think about the idea of expanding into a virtual chapter?
I think one of the first things that we have to do if we want to expand into a virtual Santa group is come up with a video or some kind of training to show these old people that they can get on a computer and they can push a couple of buttons and they can download Zoom and they can get on it, because we don't have a great amount of people coming to the virtual meetings in San Diego because half the people say, I don't know how to use it. So first thing we got to do is teach them how to use it.
Right.
Well, fortunately, that happens to be my superpower. I will be more than happy to continue working on. I have been working on a tutorial for the membership committee, for instance. Anybody volunteers for the membership committee, we have a PowerPoint that we can share with them to let them know what the committee does, and if they're interested in helping, what they would be expected to do too. So that's not going to be any problem to come up with that. I would like to, since we're going to, I'll just segue into the highlighted portion of the agenda here, which is highlighted because I've added it since I distributed the earlier iteration of the agenda. I would like you guys to see one. I want to share one more thing with you guys. Hang on just a second. Back. Like Santa Joe was just saying, we need to work on some training, and I have already begun a how tutorial library that I think I would like to have at least the 5 fiduciary offices and the position of director represented by one of these how-to tutorials before we open the elections recruiting, the candidate recruiting portion of the election cycle. But this is what I hope it will look like. Yes. So I can skip through the historical reference parts. And you know what? I'm going to stop this anyway because I don't know why that.
You're breaking up, Rick.
Hang on. Am I still breaking up now?
No, you're fine.
Right. Okay. Thank you. I should have waited until I had completed the. Where did I put it? Hang on. I don't know why that copy was playing because there's a high resolution copy right here. There we go.
the same.
Yep.
Same.
Okay, well, can you hear me without the audio playing?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. I will just skip through this in a couple of places. This basically gives a Reader's Digest explanation of the guidance and governance of the fraternity. There's a slide that shows the bylaws, a couple of slides that describe the offices as stipulated in the bylaws. And it basically tells them that if you would like to, well, if you'd like to know what each one of these officers does, or if you'd like to volunteer for one of the standing committees, the easiest way to understand what they do is to just volunteer. Volunteer to help them with what they're doing. Each one of the directors and officers would be more than happy to share their experience with you and would be more than happy to accept your help with anything they're doing. And each one of these standing committees has a place for anybody that wants to raise their hand. I'm not going to waste your time with that low resolution version. I don't know where the other copy went, so I'll just leave it as is. But it is my hope and intention that there will be a how-to chairman, how-to president, how-to secretary, how-to treasurer, how-to director. And we will also get to work on the how-to Zoom, you know, Zoom for idiot. No, I won't do that. But anyway, yeah, just basically the most basic access to the most fundamental online resources. And yes, I've gotten Ted Tardy onto these meetings before, so I think that we can probably work with anyone. And with a little bit of work, we can make them. I mean, Zoom has made this one-click simple. I just learned that you guys didn't even need to enter the passcode. All you needed was the invitation that Zoom generated, and you guys just clicked right in. We would need it seems to me that we would need a tutorial on how to set up audio, video, you know, your webcam and your microphone, and maybe a separate tutorial on advisory for using chroma key screens or something like that. But yeah, I'd be more than happy to create a how-to library for Santas to use, and we can even eventually expand that out to Office suites, the Google Mail and the Google Calendar and the Google your Google Drive, how to integrate all of them on your single device. Or if your iPhone, if you have an iPhone, you could, you know, they have the same, they have a similar Office suite for iPhones and stuff. So anyway, yeah, I won't drag that out anymore. I just wanted to get you guys, to make you guys aware. And at this point, I will pause and entertain any discussion or comments that you guys might like to offer regarding my grand idea for a virtual expansion. I know that Tim Conahan is going to be leaning a lot more, expanding his repertoire a lot more into virtual presentation. If nothing else, just to freshen up his material after having done this for so many years. Mitch and Rick Rosenthal, I've spoken to both of them this week, and both of them are eager to evolve their itinerary, their presentations and schools to tailor, to accentuate virtual opportunities much more. And I know for a fact that iBurbs isn't even interested in looking in this direction, much less directing resources or anything in this direction. Rick Rosenthal tells me that he had been rebuffed rather rudely by iBurbs when he approached them regarding some kind of interactivity so that he could provide training to their membership and things like that. And they were so suspicious of a quid pro quo that they were downright rude to him, and he withdrew the offer. So there is a gap out, there is a vacuum out there in the professional Santa world, and that's why these guys are coming and joining us from all these states, even though they're not joining through a personal invitation from somebody that they've met at 7-Eleven or from being invited to come to a local chapter meeting or something like that. most of our members are not coming from that old paradigm. Most of our members now are coming from this online generation. And we are uniquely positioned, and I would like for us to begin focusing strenuously on servicing that new population. And then we can work out some agreements. Northern Lights Academy and Higher Santa are both interested in working out some kind of interactivity with FORBS to help train our members in exchange for, some kind of access to the boards or something like that, which is generous of them because they both have access to the board anyway. They're both professional Santas and they're both members. So I think that moving forward in the next 12 months before the next reunion, we can see some tremendous growth and development in this entirely new branch of the history of FORBS. Comments? Joe, I'm John.
I think you have to keep in mind the older members. If you go bolting off into the virtual world, it'll be a new field and we'll lose the people that are not computer driven. I think you need to keep a future organization or where you want the organization to go. But I believe that you still have to live in the today time frame because there's a lot of members. I see it in mine. I get 12, maybe 15 to a meeting. There's 54 on my roster. So there's a lot of people that, for whatever reason, aren't coming to meetings. Instead of just separating and going forward with virtual, which I believe will be great for Christmas in July. Joe can probably speak on that one, but there are members that are still old school.
You're absolutely right. And I thank you for highlighting the page that I skipped over by accident. I meant to say and incorporate from the very beginning that we are in no way turning our back on the legacy. We're going to continue to dance with the girl that brought us here. There's no doubt about that. Where we have chapters and people are geophysically proximate enough that they can gather and share a meal or something like that, that will continue to be FORBS. That is the traditional real bearded Santa world, and it always will be. Eva and I are 4 square behind that. And that's one of the reasons why we're hoping to develop chapters by using this virtual online meeting grouping. We're hoping that we can begin to group Santas and they can begin to develop local or regional chapters, physical chapters for themselves. And then they can be the attraction for growth, nuclear growth in that area. So that will continue to be, we're still dedicated to the development of chapters and the growth of our fraternity through the development of those chapters. So yeah, we're absolutely not turning our back on the concept of in-person chapter meetings.
And you can't try to force them into going into that world because they're already at the position they're going to be at for the rest of their lives, for the most part.
In fact, go ahead.
But I do like the idea of the online chapters. I do like that idea.
And I would like to, beginning with the SOTOC meetings, when we begin meeting again in person, I would like to choose venues that have a TV screen that we can use, up to a laptop or something like that. And I would like to set up a camera so that people can virtually attend our meeting, as well as those who are in the room with us. And those people who are watching us will be inspired to seek out one of those physical gatherings, one of those local gatherings, so that they can be one of the people at the tables chatting with the people around them. But in the meantime, they can, we can build that interest and generate that growth virtually just by posting our meeting schedule and having anybody in the general public that wants to, I would say definitely more like anybody at our meeting who would like to send an invitation to someone else and let them join our meeting, they should have the ability to do that.
Yes, agree.
Diva, that's a great background you got there.
Of course it is.
Did you do that with, is that what you did with all that nail polish I bought you? Jim, we got 2 cameras on you, son. No microphone though. One of them is frozen. Okay, I'm sorry. Let me get back to, I'm going to return to the agenda. Okay, that is all that I had at this point. I just wanted to introduce you guys to the ideas that are rattling around in my head. Let them rattle around in your head for a while. I would like you guys to seek me out at your convenience or whenever you want to and tell me what your ideas might be, so that I can continue to work on this. I will continue to work on the how tutorial library. Is there any remaining new business that anyone would like to present to the board? Okay. The only other thing that I will mention to you guys is that the agenda that I sent out includes the conflict policy itself, the verbiage from the conflict policy. And when you go online to complete the form, it is also, the text is also available on that form. You just have to scroll through it because it's in a window. And one of the PowerPoint presentations that I have already shared with you guys, the high resolution version, is on YouTube, and there's a link at the bottom in Appendix C to the agendas. Okay. If there's anything else anybody would like to share, this is the time to do it. And seeing no activity, I will adjourn the meeting.
Appendix C.
Thank you guys so much for your attention and cooperation. We can't do this without you. And now the floor is open for chat if you want to.
Okay, love you guys.
Thank you so much, Bob.
Love you too.
Love
Bye.
Colleen.
So how to
Good
Gretchen?
night. Everybody stay safe.
Yes,
You
sir.
too. Say hi to Gretchen.
Okay, will do. We got a second shot yesterday.
Yay.
God bless us, everyone.
Yay.
Yeah.
All right. Love you all. Talk soon. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye, guys.
Bye. Good night.
Good night.
Night, Tom.
All right, I guess I will go ahead and sign this off. You guys all have my contact info. Can't wait to hear from you. Thank you, guys.
Night.
Great group.